Well, hey everybody, it's Bart from the Sound Couple, and tonight I am solo, and that is because I'm heading off to a gig that is a house gig, meaning that the sound and the lighting board and everything is provided by the club. And I don't think I've ever taken you along for one of these, and there's, again, always reasons for that. Primarily, I just haven't done a lot of these gigs. It's a club that I've worked at on and off in various capacities for over 20 years now. And I think this will be the second time I've been here now in the last almost 2 years. It was closed down during COVID and all that, and then I just wasn't very interested in the peak of everything, even when things reopened, of going back into a bar. Still not thrilled, but kind of trying to figure out that balance of living life and being safe at the same time. So anyway, tonight we're heading out. I'm gonna admit I am a little bit nervous. The reason why is because I just haven't worked this system. They have an X32 full-size 32 channel out at the front of house. They have a compact for monitors. So it's a nice setup, but I just haven't ran this system in a long time, and there's a few things that I like to do. Like, I like to split the head amp gain and run line level to the monitor board and run the preamps off the front of house, and there's the routing in there. And here's what I've been doing the last couple nights. I've been actually on my compact at home refreshing my memory, things like assigning mute groups, or assigning subgroups. I use the software. I use the X32 software in conjunction with the board. There are some things between the two, there's not too much that I can't get through, but just some of the board navigation I've kind of forgotten just because I haven't used it, and it's really sad. So I'm feeling pretty good about tonight, but I am giving myself some extra time just for that fact. If there's anything, I keep all my programs and everything on my laptop, so I'm feeling really good that I have everything I need. The second thing is I haven't worked with this band before, and I've done my research on them. It sounds pretty straightforward. 5 vocals, 2 guitars, a bass, and drums. I've talked to a buddy of mine that's ran sound for him, so he kind of gave me the lowdown. I will try to get some video at the gig. It's going to be maybe a little difficult just being me, but I will do what I can. This will give you guys a completely different look than what you're used to with us, where I'm solo, which I've been before, but I am stepping into a house gig. And so I'm really hoping that I can get some good shots for you. We'll see you at the gig. All right, here's the front of house system, the X32 with the DL32 up here for preamps. And then the stage, actually one of the band members is here, so I got the lowdown already. And so I can start on my input lists and making sure I got signal and all that good stuff. All right, a quick check-in here. I am pretty much set to go. I'm not set to go, but I got everything figured out. It's about 7 o'clock. The band doesn't start for another hour and a half. And I did get kind of hooked up on some routing, and I'll blame it on the fact that it's kind of like the Persona stuff. If you don't have the same equipment that you're setting up with, there's some goofy things that can happen with routing. So like here they have the DL32, and then they have the separate monitor board, and then the X32 full size out here. So if you're not dealing with the same equipment that you're setting up on, I'm sure if I would have dug a little bit deeper, I could have figured it out. But it just, some things got thrown off, and I don't understand why. But I have verified, I got my channels on all set up. I have, there's 2 boards right here. I'm connected to the front of house. I have signal to the monitors. I have signal on the front of house. I had to reroute my USB stuff for the tunes, but that's up and going. And then here's what I do. I split the gain and then run that down. So this is AES A, and I run that, use the preamps then to split between the front of house and the monitors. So both of these, if I select a channel, I have line, or I have trim inputs. And what I do then is I go to the iPad when I'm checking monitors, and I go to the setup, and this is connected, well, I don't know what it's connected to right now, but I go and I set all my preamp levels here. I don't think this is connected to the front of house. It is not. So if I change this, all right, thank you. So now if we go to the AAS50A, then I have my expected preamps. So I'm gonna go up and wire things and get going here. They got the old school light board. This is actually my old light board. I sold it to the club a few years ago, and it's still up and going. This stuff is like tanks. All right, we'll check in a little bit. The tail, or the stage box, is here on the wall. And some of you may be asking, well, why isn't the DL32 up here? And my answer to that is a good question. I don't know quite well, I do kind of know the answer, because some people that aren't as comfortable, people like me, you have the opportunity to run the console independently on analog, so you simplifies the routing. So that's why I think that's a good reason. Or if a band comes in with their own rig, you still have that analog split. The main reason why the DL32 was put into place was for the preamps, and that's arguably, you can check out Dave Ratt's videos to see if it's worth the extra price. Yeah, it should be. Okay. I still need to get to the monitor board, but you'll be able to. You're just gonna park it in the back.
Yeah, I'm just gonna move it this way.
And I think that was your bag. It's just behind.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'll bring it up and put it on top there. Actually, before I move that.
What do you think it is? Is it?
Honestly, I just think it's a different age, man. Like, people aren't as dedicated as they used to be. I mean, people want to be in a band, but then when they see you got to practice every week, and you're fucking gigging every week, and almost every week, and they're like, oh, well, I don't really want to do it this much.
Or I think the other thing too is probably harder to get people to come in to one gig. They want to go where the best.
Well, yeah, and you got guys in like 5 other bands, and then you got commitment issues. And the biggest thing I'm noticing is also family. You know, guys are so wrapped in vamping and all that stuff. It's just not like me. They're all wanting the time on their hands. So
So during the sound checks, when I'm on the iPad up on stage, I don't mess with the effects. I have all my effects programmed in, and then I take this time before we start to assign all the vocals. I pretty much know where the levels have to be, so it's not that big a deal for me just to come in here. And so this is my reverb for drums, reverb for vocals, delay for delay vocal, and that's the tap delay right there. So got this vocal right here. Actually I did this one already. So I'll come in here and do this one. And then for the drums, I try to limit the amount of effects. I always ask the drummer how much they sing. Because if they don't sing a whole lot, I don't like to put a lot of really anything on them, just because that gets thrown through the mix, through the snare drum, any delay, any reverb. And so I try to, unless they're doing a lot of singing, then you're kind of forced to maybe wet them up a little bit more. But if they're just doing backups, I don't put as much in there. So we'll go to the drums here. This kick is fine. Snare we're gonna add some reverb. Hi-hat. Okay, now we're on to the tom. Add a little reverb there, and then what I'll do is, once the band starts, I will fine-tune the gates and the compressors. So I'll solo each drum and tweak the gate. So during the first 6-7, well, hopefully no more than a few songs actually, I am actually mixing things, and I will for sure get that on tape. Pissed that I didn't get the sound check, but there'll be other times. Okay, where was I? So we're on the tom. We got tom 1. We got some reverb. We got tom 2, which I guess I called tom 1. Whatever. We got to relabel it. Bring that up a little bit. The floor tom. And that should be about it. I may end up. Excuse me, I may end up throwing a little reverb on the acoustic if it needs it. When this room is empty, it's pretty live in here, so it might do just fine by itself. Alright, I think we are set. I got my DCAs, I dumped the toms in there in case I want to just punch a fill or something like that. I really do like the X32 DCAs and that they're on the top level here. I also run my vocals through my reverbs and delay through the DCA as well, because then it's always here at the top level, and I can easily adjust the levels if I need to. And then for my mute groups, I do 1, I do all the instruments, 3 is the vocals, and then 4 is my subgroups. So I'm running 4 subgroups. And in this club, there's a front fill and 2 left and right on each side up by the stage. So there really isn't a left-right per se in this room. It's kind of a dual mono with two cabinets like that. And these are the Danely cabinets. I can't remember the brand. I mean the model. Guitar players having wireless issues already. Not mine. We didn't have it during sound check.
Turn that guitar up, brother. I can't hear nothing.
Yeah.
How y'all feeling, Main Street? We are Legacy of the Town, back again. We love you.
Done with the first set. Everything went pretty well. I just had to make a couple monitor adjustments. The one thing that really makes me nervous is I saved the scenes to the laptop and it'll disconnect if you're on a different screen. I don't know, it's just a thing with, or not even a different screen, if you have a different app up in front of X32 Edit, it'll disconnect from the mixer, which is really annoying. But so I get really paranoid that I don't override the scene. But now I got them saved. I got, so if I go to my laptop here, what I do is I save 2 scenes for every band. So I have their front of house and then their monitor. And so now next time, if I mix them again, I can just recall the scene and just go from there. But I'll take you up on the stage at the next break. But it's going pretty well. It's kind of loud, but there's plenty of people here now that it's kind of sucking up the sound. Break here, and I just wanted to show you real quick on the board here. Hopefully you can hear me, but so again, there's the compact here at monitors. So I'm running it off the AES50A, and so I'm getting, each channel has a line. I keep saying line. I'm really sorry about that. I don't mean line. It's a trim. So the preamps are being controlled off the DL32 up at the front of the house, and then I'm splitting the gains between each of them. That's my preference. Oddly enough, on the Persona system, I don't like to use the gain, but for whatever reason, this feels better. And then, of course, you got the Senzon fader, which is for your monitor control. I do like how the X32 is laid out for monitors, where you can, select your bus and then control your mixes from there, or you can select a channel and then your buses spill out. So really logical. I'm sure a lot of you guys are familiar with all this, but it's just always interesting for me to go back between each console and the X32 that I don't run as often. So I appreciate some of the features and how they've implemented it. The monitors here are these old Mackies, and God, these things have been here 20 years, 15 years, and I have to say these things are tanks. Hardly ever have feedback issues up here. There aren't, well, not with this board, but there's never been EQs, even when there was an analog system here. You don't really need them. You just turn them up and it goes. It's amazing. So these really work out well. They're heavy as hell, but they work out well in this club. Monitors are never an issue getting loud enough or above the band. Hey, well, cheers everyone. This is Bart from the Sound Couple, and I just got home from the gig. I got a couple things to share with you. First of all, it was the first time I've worked on the X32 series in a while. I did do my homework, like I said, and I played with this a little bit, but it's still not quite the same as being under the gun and working with the equipment that it's all provided with you. I ran into a couple snafus, and actually my presets or my scenes, my templates that I have in X32 Edit on my laptop kind of failed me tonight, and I'm not quite sure why. The routing got a little messed up, and I actually ended up going back to some of my old scenes just to go, okay, what's going on here? I'm gonna have to follow up again on that on my own time. But I recalled my old scenes, and bam, everything was working. I was getting, the signal and everything. I'm not familiar enough with this console in the sense that, especially compared to the Personas, which I've seen just about everything that can happen. It doesn't take me much to get thrown off my game with this console. But I will say there are things really nice about how Behringer has done things. Their service, on the other hand, I've heard is a nightmare right now. And hopefully, sorry for people that have to get repairs and all that, because I've just heard it's just terrible. But as far as the actual functionality of this console, it is really nice. Some of the feedback from the LCD and everything, showing you where frequencies are, and just the navigation of the gains and the EQ section and the gates and the channel metering, all very useful information. Enough on the console, but I just wanted to share one other thing, is that we don't waste a lot of time. And one of the things I see is that these sound checks or hear about are these sound checks that take forever, where you got the drummer going boom, 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 boom. And the sound guy's back there going, okay, this. We need to work faster, guys, okay? I get it. It's like you want things going, but to me, it's all about working in between the yard lines. If think of a football field, working in between the yard lines. The band, once again, never worked with these guys, haven't met any of them before, but got thanked multiple times for, hey, thanks for basically getting us through this and not making us stand up here forever. Number one, we don't have a lot of time. Number two, you're only going to be able to get so much, and then the band's going to play, and then things are going to change again. So really how I think about it is getting them in between the yard lines. So I'm really sorry again that I didn't get the monitor check, but the one thing I do is I go through each musician and I kind of save the drummer for last, just because starting with the drums makes all these 3 or 4 other guys stand there waiting, and you know, it's fast. So I'll start with usually stage right person, whatever they have, guitars, vocals. Let's do that. Anybody need that? They raise their hand. I make the adjustments. Are you good? You're good. You're good. Go to the next person. And one of the things that allows this to happen so quickly is that I'm pre-checking my lines and I'm making sure that I got signal on all these instruments. So I'm not going, oh crap, I don't have signal. What's going on? And then I'm farting around, you know, look, is it a bad cable? Do I got routing wrong or whatever? But I am really super diligent on sound checks. Let's get through this. Let's get done. And then we did the monitor checks, and then it's like, okay, I want to do a quick line check out front. With my PreSonus rig, I'm not so worried about it, but tonight I was sort of kind of like, you know what? This is kind of about you, but it's kind of about me, but do you guys want to run something? Oh, sure. All right, let me quick check things real quick. I just want to make sure I got you really nice and hot, you know, everything's good and all that. You're like, okay, great. So once again, I started with the musicians. Haven't even touched the drums, with the exception of what he wanted in his monitor. So I got through all the musicians, kind of make the drummer wait till last. Hey, drummer, can I start with kick? Can I snare, hi-hat? I wasn't concerned about effects. I wasn't concerned really about any of the gates or compression. I just wanted to make sure I had line, and I was listening out front and I could hear drums and all good. And then they're like, hey, can we run a song? And it's like, sure, run a song. So that allowed me to kind of see what the dynamics were of the singer, of the guitars and all that. So I'm taking all this information in and I'm thinking about, all right, now I started from the 20s and now I just moved to the 40s. Speaking of a football field, so the 40-yard line. And now I'm going to save that last minute for when they go click, click, click and start the night. When the band started, then I dialed in the rest into the mix. And it took, oh boy, probably 4 or 5 songs. The guitar player like turned way up. That threw the mix off. I had to bring him out. Whatever. Let's get through these sound checks, guys. Let's get them done. Let's be ready. Let's not waste a lot of time. And then we'll get the mix dialed in on the fly and get used to that, because that is something, I think that is a key for us, is how quickly we are able to get through things and not waste a lot of time. And granted, having that luxury of these nice sound checks where you can listen to that tom and you can listen to that bass, that's, in an ideal world, that is great. But balancing the fact that you just need to be collecting the information and say, you know what, okay, I'm gonna be able to eyeball this stuff in and take care of the rest. I think the balance of you getting through things versus, okay, is everything gonna be perfect right out of the gate? There's space there to say, you know what, let's get things in the ballpark, and then we're gonna mix it in on the fly. Thanks again, everybody. It's getting late. We got another gig tomorrow, and we look forward to the next one, and thanks for watching.